Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. The meaning of delegation. Delegation refers to the assignment of certain responsibilities along with the necessary authority by a superior to his or her subordinate managers. According to F.C. Moore, delegation means assigning work to the others and giving them authority to do so. According to O.S. Minor, delegation takes place when one person gives another the right to perform work on his behalf and in his name, and the second person accepts a corresponding duty or obligation to do that is required of him. Process of delegation. The process of delegation involves 4 distinct stages as shown in the following figure. The following are the 4 stages involved in the process of delegation. Assignment of duties. Before delegating, the delegator must clearly decide which duty should be assigned to the subordinate or a group of subordinates. The authority is delegated accordingly, and the expectations from the subordinates are clearly communicated. Transfer of authority to perform the duty. In the second stage of the delegation process, the authority is granted by the delegator to his subordinate or delegate. Acceptance of the assignment. In the third stage of delegation, the delegate accepts or rejects the task assigned to him in the first stage along with the authority given in the second stage. And lastly, creation of obligation, accountability or responsibility. The last stage in the delegation of authority involves the creation of obligation on part of the subordinate to satisfactorily perform the duties assigned to him using the authority given. Obstacles or barriers to effective delegation. Obstacles or barriers to delegation for the manager, superior, or delegator. The first is fear of competition. A manager may not delegate authority if he or she feels that he has a competent subordinate who is likely to outshine him or her. Lack of confidence in subordinates. A manager may hesitate to delegate authority if he or she feels that the subordinate is not competent to deal with the problem and take decisions. Lack of ability to direct. Sometimes, a manager may experience difficulty in directing his subordinates because of his inability to identify and communicate the essential features of his long-range plans and programs. Absence of controls to identify potential problems. An organization may not have developed controls to identify potential problems. And lastly, desire to dominate subordinates. Managers or superiors may have a desire to dominate their subordinates. Obstacles or barriers to delegation for subordinates. Why subordinates resist delegation? The first is fear of criticism. Subordinates may express unwillingness to accept delegated authority because of the fear of criticism in the case of mistakes. Lack of information. A subordinate may hesitate to accept a new assignment if he or she knows that necessary information to perform the job is not likely to be made available to him. Absence of self-confidence. A subordinate may lack confidence in his or her ability to take quick and correct decisions. Difficulty in decision making. A subordinate may not have the skills and expertise to take quick and correct decisions. And lastly, fear of being exposed. Some subordinates may have inferiority complex. Principles of effective delegation. The first is knowledge of objectives. Before delegating authority, subordinates should be made to understand their duties and responsibilities. Unity of command. This principle of delegation suggests that command should be concentrated with one person for a specific job. Clarity of delegation. While delegating authority to subordinates, they should be made to understand the limits of authority. Absoluteness of responsibility. This principle of delegation suggests that it is only the authority which is delegated and not the responsibility. And lastly, reward for effective delegation. This principle suggests that effective delegation and successful assumption of authority should be rewarded. Thank you.